Today, we're going to decode the formula of the fastest man in history, Usain Bolt. And I promise you, it is a story that will flip everything you think you know about peak performance completely on its head. This isn't just about raw talent. It's about a systematic equation he developed, not just to win, but to literally redefine the absolute limits of human speed. An equation that's built on a principle that seems, well, like a total contradiction. The year is 2008. Usain Bolt, who back then was a supremely talented but famously inconsistent Jamaican sprinter, was competing in the 100-meter final at the Beijing Olympics. Now, every single athlete on that line was taught to be a coiled spring of pure power. You know, the prevailing philosophy was all about brute force. Try harder, push with more force, and maintain maximum tension from the second that gun goes off. It was supposed to be a race of attrition. Who could hold that explosive state the longest? But on that stage, in front of the entire world, something else was happening. While everyone else was following that script of maximum tension, Usain Bolt was about to discover a profound truth. He found his incredible, record-breaking speed not by tensing up, but by systematically letting go. And that is the central paradox we're exploring today. This idea that true, sustainable speed doesn't come from fighting for it, but from finding a state of perfect, controlled ease. Okay, so how in the world did he do it? Here's our roadmap. We're going to start with that pivotal moment in Beijing, then we'll rewind to see how this whole idea was forged in frailty. We'll define the Bolt equation itself, break down the actual systems he used to put it into practice, explore how it completely rewrote the rules of the sport, and finally, see how we can apply these incredible lessons to our own lives. Let's dive in. It all crystallized for him right there, during that 2008 final. As he rocketed down the track, something just shifted. Just past the 60-meter mark, a point in the race that sprinters call the pain zone, where most athletes are straining with every single fiber of their being, Bolt had this profound realization. He felt that his fastest running, those moments where he truly pulled away from everyone else, only happened when he consciously replaced that brute force effort with a sense of controlled, systematic relaxation. And this is so key. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't him just getting lucky or being so far ahead he could just coast to the finish. No, this mid-race insight became a conscious commitment. It was the very beginning of his entire performance philosophy. He understood that minimizing the energy wasted on internal tension and instead channeling every ounce of effort into maximizing the length of his stride through fluidity was way more powerful than just trying to muscle his way to the finish line. Now, you might be thinking this revolutionary idea was just born from pure untouchable talent, but the truth is actually far more interesting. Bolt's philosophy wasn't born from strength, it was forged in frailty. To really understand his system of relaxation, we have to go back and understand the pretty significant physical adversity he was forced to overcome his whole life. From a young age, Usain Bolt has lived with scoliosis, a curvature of the spine. And this one fact explains so much. Biomechanically, it meant his body was fundamentally asymmetrical. Get this, his right leg is actually half an inch shorter than his left, which causes his pelvis to tilt. This creates all this uneven stress on his hips, his hamstrings, his lower back. For him, relying on pure brute force power wasn't even an option. It was a direct path to getting injured. This physical vulnerability became the mother of invention, forcing him to find a smarter, more efficient way to run. Because of this underlying condition, his early career was an absolute roller coaster of deep, painful injury setbacks. I mean, he was constantly battling hamstring tears and back issues. He knew he had the raw speed, but he just couldn't consistently access it. A huge part of the problem was his tendency to get way too tense, especially in the early phases of a race. This wasted precious energy and put immense, unbalanced strain on his vulnerable frame. His greatest opponent wasn't the guy in the next lane. It was this constant battle against his own inconsistency, a battle he knew he had to win systematically. And that brings us to the core of this whole thing, what we're calling the Bolt equation. This wasn't just some vague idea, you know? It was a mental model, an engineered philosophy that he built piece by piece to solve the problem of his own body and unlock his ultimate potential. It's the intellectual framework behind that effortless speed we all got to witness. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it just completely inverts everything we're taught about high performance. The core belief of the Bolt equation is this: optimal speed is achieved through minimal resistance. Let me say that again, minimal resistance, not maximum force. He came to believe that the secret to going faster was to get out of his own way, to literally remove the internal friction, both physical and mental, that's caused by tension and anxiety. He built this entire philosophy on 3 distinct pillars. First up is the Subtractive Tension Mandate, a commitment to systematically finding and eliminating any muscular effort that wasn't directly helping him move forward. Think of it like a personal audit. Are your shoulders creeping up to your ears? Is your jaw clenched? Subtract it. The second pillar is the maximum stride/minimal effort doctrine. See, in sprinting, you've got 2 variables, stride length and how fast your legs churn. Bolt, being super tall, realized that trying to match the turnover of shorter runners was just inefficient for him. So instead, he focused on using his long legs to get a massive stride length, covering more ground with fewer, more powerful steps. And finally, there's the pre-race psychological detachment protocol. The dancing, the smiling, the pointing at the camera, that wasn't just showmanship. It was all a deliberate practice strategy to get rid of performance anxiety before it could turn into physical tension in his muscles. A philosophy is great, right? But it's totally useless without a system to actually implement it. So let's move on and see how Bolt built on this, moving from the what of his philosophy to the how of his daily routines that made this radical idea a reality. He basically operated with 2 critical, interconnected systems. System 1 was the foundation, core stabilization and asymmetry management. This was the grueling, behind-the-scenes work that made everything else even possible. Then you have System 2, the application, the Mid-Race Relaxation Check, which he called the float. This was his secret weapon during the race itself. One system built the body capable of being relaxed at high speed. The other executed it under immense pressure. Let's be really clear here. This relaxation wasn't laziness, not even close. It was built on a foundation of incredible, grueling work. His core stabilization routine was a year-round, absolutely non-negotiable part of his life. We're talking hours in the gym every single day, just focused on building a rock-solid core. The abs, the obliques, the lower back. This was the only way he could create a stable chassis that could handle the insane rotational forces generated by his asymmetrical stride, protecting his body so he could do the very thing that made him so fast. And this is how he applied it all. The float was a practiced, conscious mental check. He would start right around that 50 to 60 meter mark. As other runners started to tighten up, their faces contorting in a grimace of effort, he would do the exact opposite. He would deliberately focus on relaxing his shoulders, dropping them down, letting the tension just drain from his jaw and face. This tiny little shift allowed him to maintain perfect, efficient form. It created a feeling of gliding, of literally floating over the track, while his competitors were actively slowing themselves down by fighting their own bodies. So when you put all these pieces together, the philosophy born from his physical struggles and the systems he built to support it, you get more than just a fast runner. You get a revolution. Bolt's approach didn't just win him gold medals, it fundamentally and permanently changed the entire sport of sprinting. His journey illustrates this perfectly. He went from being this incredible talent, just plagued by injury in his early career, to that lightning bolt moment of realization in Beijing in 2008. And what happened next? The very next year, with his system fully implemented, he ran a 9.58-second 100-meter dash, a world record that still stands today. His legacy isn't just the time on the clock, it's the new philosophy he institutionalized for an entire generation of athletes to follow. 9.58. For over a decade now, this number has been the undisputed proof of concept. It's the mathematical validation of his entire equation. It is, quite literally, the sound of minimal resistance. It's the ultimate testament to the power of systematic relaxation, built upon a foundation of absolute discipline.
Ultimately, this is his enduring legacy. He took an idea that seemed completely counterintuitive, that letting go could actually make you faster, and proved, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that a combination of systematic physical discipline and the strategic, intelligent use of relaxation is superior to the old model of just maximal effort. He made performance psychology and controlled ease essential parts of elite training.
So what does the story of the world's fastest man have to do with the rest of us? Well, everything. In this final section, we're going to translate Bolt's hard-won lessons into a universal takeaway that you can apply to your race, whatever that may be. So the crucial point is this: whether you're a sprinter, an artist, an executive, or a student, the profound lesson of the Bolt equation is that you cannot reach your maximum speed, your peak performance, by fighting yourself. Unnecessary tension, whether it's physical or mental, is just wasted energy. It's resistance that slows you down from the inside out. Here's how you can start applying this today. First, adopt the Subtractive Tension Mandate in your own life. Make a conscious decision to actively look for and remove tension. Second, systematically audit your actions. When you're stressed or under pressure at work, where do you hold that tension? Is it in your shoulders, your jaw, your breathing? Identify it. And third, consciously work to find your ease within the effort. Performance isn't about eliminating effort, but about eliminating the friction that works against that effort. And that's really the challenge I want to leave you with. In the moments of highest pressure, in the most important parts of your own race, ask yourself this question. Where can you subtract tension? Where can you let go just a little bit? Where can you find your ease in the effort? The answer just might be the key to unlocking a level of performance you never even knew you had. In the end, Usain Bolt built his legacy on the profound truth that speed is a product of flow, not force. The Bolt equation provided a systematic blueprint for proving that relaxation is the secret to speed, achieved through painstaking technical efficiency and unwavering core discipline. His story reminds us of an immutable rule that applies far beyond the track. Maximum speed is a product of maximum flow.